What's going on, everyone? In this video today, we're going to go over everything you need to know for purchasing wrist wraps so you can find the best bang for your buck. So as always, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, everyone, thank you for tuning into the channel again and checking out another video. In this video today, we're going to break down everything you need to know for wrist wraps. So this is part of the Powerlifting budget series that I have, so we're continuing on. So if you missed out on the other videos in this series, I'll have the link down to the playlist in the description below, as well as a card for it above. But for the video today, we're going to go over all about wrist wraps, and I have a few different examples here if you'll look at. And as well, I have my computer pulled up and we'll go down one by one on my computer of what you should be looking for as far as the IPF approval, prices, and all that kind of stuff. So here you can see I have a few different types, different colors, and also different lengths. So for example, the shortest one here is going to be like a generic black one that you might just find online on like Amazon or maybe on Alibaba or something like that. This is just some generic manufacturer out in China or somewhere that sent it out to me. Here as well is a slightly longer one. Again, this is going to be a generic one that you might find on Amazon or on Alibaba, or someone from India or China can manufacture for you. And you can see what we did here is we had some old Squats and Science ones that we used to make and sell. So hopefully you can see the Squats and Science label on there. So this is a generic one that you can put your personal brand on there. And then the third one I have here, the longest one of them all, hopefully it fits in the video. These are the Titan Signature Goals. So this is the max length, is 36 inches. The maximum length is 1 meter. So this is about the maximum you can get. And these are Titan support systems. So this is IPF approved. And these I've had since about 2014. So you'll see there are different styles out there, different lengths out there, and also different stiffnesses. It's hard for you to tell, but there's gonna be some flexible ones and then there's gonna be some stiff ones. So these Titan Signature Golds are some of the stiffest ones out there, versus this generic one, this black one that's shorter, is also gonna be a little bit more flexible. So it's gonna have a little bit more give to it. And as I'll go more depth into this video, is when you have a more flexible one, then you don't need to have as long of a wrist wrap because it's gonna stretch more and you're gonna be able to get the revolutions that you need to get your wrist wraps tight how you want it. But when you have a stiff one, then it's gonna be hard for you to pull on it to get the revolutions, and so it helps to have a longer one. So actually for this Titan Signature Goal, which is one of the stiffest ones out there, having the max length is good. But if you're going with more of a flexible or moderate one, then you don't need it to be as long. You can go with more of a moderate length. So we're gonna go over here to my computer. The first thing, as always, is you can always go look at the IPF Approved List and see which brands are in there and look for ones that match the IPF Approved List. If you're gonna compete at just a local meet in USAPL, and you have to check for your federation, whatever country you're in, but for USAPL local meets, it doesn't have to be on the IPF approved list. It only needs to meet the specifications outlined in the rule book, like the 1 meter length. But if you want to go to a higher level meet, like a national championship, a world championship, then it has to be listed specifically on the IPF approved list. So for example, here you see SBD Wrist Wraps, okay? Or if you go down to Alico, you see Alico Wrist Wraps. Or if you go down to Rogue or A7, actually, you'll see A7 wrist wraps. So it has to be specifically listed on there. So one option is always to come to the IPF approved list, see what's on there, and then start looking into those companies. So you're picking something that is IPF approved if you have to have it for a meet. But if you're not going to do a meet that is mandatory, like a USAPL local meet, you still may want to look into these, because these will typically be the best quality ones out there because they have the IPF approval. They have to basically match their quality and their dimension, everything like that from year to year. And also more people are going to be buying them. So more of these companies are putting money and investing into having the high quality wrist wraps from year to year. So we're going to go through some of these one by one, starting with the most expensive price and working our way down. And I'll tell you which ones I recommend, what sizes I recommend, and what the prices are. So the first one we'll pull up here is you're gonna go to the SBD website, and if you go to products, you'll see they have a few different options there. So the regular size one here, you'll see is $42.50. And then if you go down to their special colors, you'll see as it's loading, the indoor ones here are $47.50. And if you keep going down, then the Eclipse ones are also $47.50. So one of your top end prices for IPF approval, SBD, is going to be $47.50 for their special ones. And then for their regular colors that they have year round, $42.50. So I'll click on the $42.50, the red one right here. And you'll see with the wrist wraps, you're not going to save as much money because the top end price isn't as much. So $42.50 for wrist wraps are gonna be cheaper than spending like $100 for a singlet or $200 or $300 for a belt. So you're gonna be saving less as far as the total amount, but you can still save a good amount in a percentage sense as we go through these different options. But when you go to the wrist wraps here for SBD, you'll see they have a flexible and a stiff. So I recommend for most people just get the flexible. If you're gonna go with the stiff, like let's say you're a big time equip bencher or you're super heavyweight, you have really thick wrists, then you may want to go, let's say a stiff one, but you want to go with the bigger size. I would say go with the large. If you go stiff and you go the small, like I said, you're not going to be able to get enough stretch. You're not going to be able to get it wrapped around. So you want to go with a larger length if you have someone who has bigger wrists, someone who has a bigger bench. If you're a equip bencher pushing 700-800 pounds and you want a stiffer wrist wrap, then you want to go with a maximum length. But for a lot of people who are just beginners and are looking to get into wrist wraps, maybe they want them for squat and bench press, and I recommend the flexible. They're a little bit easier to work with. They give a little bit more, that you won't feel as much pain with them. And in that case, you don't have to go with the large, so you could just go with the medium. You see for SBD, all the prices are the same. So regardless of what you do, it's still gonna be at $42.50. But this is for most people, I recommend if you're gonna go with it, just go with the flexible mediums, $42.50. Or if you go with the special colors, the limited edition ones, $47.50. So that's gonna be your top end option for IPF approval, good quality, all that kind of stuff. But here in this video, we're trying to get the most bang for our buck. So we want to look at what other options are out there that you may be able to save some money and get as good or close to the quality of this SBD wrist wrap. So we're going to go one step down. We're going to go to A7's website. You can go to a7.co, and then if you're from a different country, you can check out what the prices, the taxes, the shipping, and all that kind of stuff is like for that country. Then right here in the middle, hit IPF approved, so you can see all their IPF approved equipment. And you can see here they have their Inferno, $35.95. And then they have the other colors further down. So you get the regular black here, also $35.95. So again, you can choose what color you want. It's gonna be the same price. They also have a stiff option here. So if you wanna go with the stiff option, they got 55, 77, and 99 centimeters. So that's gonna be about 20, 25, and 30 inches. So I would say if you're gonna go with stiff one, then you wanna go with the 30 inches to have more length to work with as you're pulling them. If you go with the other option, so if we go back for a second here, and we go down here, you see the flex ones right here. So you go with the flex options again, and then now you can go with the smaller option. So you can go with the 55 or 77, so you don't have a super long wrist wrap with the 99 like I have with the Titan Signature Goals. Is with a flexible one that's also this long, it's gonna be a lot of pulling, a lot of revolutions. It could get annoying. So you can go with the 55 centimeters for the flex, or 77, and if you go with the stiff, go with the 99. But this is gonna be $35.95, so it's gonna bring you down a little bit from that $47.50 and $42.50 price. If you're looking for something to save a little bit of money, but maybe you want a different style, maybe you want a different color, maybe SBD sold out, maybe the shipping here is cheaper, you'll save a little bit of money and get basically that same kind of quality, and also the IPF approved. So now let's go one step below that, and we're gonna go check out Titan's site. So Titan, like I said, the Signature Golds are one of the wrist wraps, but they have other ones out there. So if you go to products and you go to wraps, then you'll see all the different options that I have there. So as this is pulling up, you'll see here are the Signature Golds I use that are the most expensive price typically. Right now they have some sales going on, so you can also look at the sales that they have. But you'll see there's other options there. So here, the red lines are gonna be like the most beginner, most flimsy options out there, not as good quality. I would not recommend them. I know it saves you a lot of money. It looks great being $10.75, but I wouldn't recommend them. It's just not gonna be that supportive for most people. And you can see even like the little Velcro part isn't as thick and stuff like that. So I would just say spend the money, get something better. So the Signature Golds, like I said, it might be a little bit too much for people. It's a little bit too stiff. And these different options are based on the stiffness. So the Titan Signature Golds are gonna be the stiffest, and the Red Devils are gonna be like the most flexible. So you wanna go somewhere in the middle. So you can either go with the THPs here, the $15 starting price, or the Titaniums here, starting price $14. Personally, if I had to pick, if I had to start over again and had to go with the Titan wrist wrap, I would go with this Titan one, a titanium one, because it is a nice little middle ground of flexible and stiff, and people seem to really like it. So if I was going back and starting over, I would pick this $14 titanium wrist wrap. The price does change though on what size you get. So if I switch here to 19, you'll see it says $15. If I switch to the 30 inches, you'll see it says $19. And if I switch that max 36 inches, you see it says $21. So the price for this one is gonna change depending on what size you want. Personally, I would say for this titanium, which is kind of middle ground, 12 inches is probably still too small, and 36, like I said, is too big. So you want to go somewhere here in the middle, 19.5, 24, or 30. So you could go something like bring it down to 19.5 or 20, and from there you decide if you are someone who's like, let's say 83 kilos and down for men, and let's say like 72 kilos or 63 kilos down for women, then you may want to go with the 19.5. And if you are in one of the bigger weight classes, if you're like a 105, 120, 120 plus, or 84, 84 plus, then you may want to look into 24 inches because you may just naturally have bigger bones, a bigger wrist, you're pushing bigger weights, and maybe you want a little bit more length so you can have some more revolutions and really get stiff when you want it stiff, and maybe go a bit looser when you want it looser. But you may just want to go, let's say 19.5 inches is 15 bucks and 24 inches, 17 bucks. So not much of a difference, but you're getting quite a bit less as far as what you're spending than the 35.95 or 42.50 or 47.50. So you're saving a lot here. So a lot of good bang for your buck here with the Titan wrist wrap options, and personally I like the titanium the best. One thing to know with Titan support, as I mentioned in my previous videos, is there's a difference when you buy from the manufacturer versus when you buy from the distributor. So here you're buying from the manufacturer, and you can see here it says estimated production time 3 to 4 weeks. So what you may want to do is go to a distributor, for example, Lifting Large. So we're going to jump over here to Lifting Large, we're going to go over to Powerlifting, we're going to go over to Wraps, and then we're going to go over to Wrist Wraps. And if you scroll down, you'll see they have Titan wrist wraps here. Okay, they also have a sale going on, so we're going to go on the titanium wrist wraps. Okay, and then again, you can choose your length here. Okay, and the price is going to change depending on what you choose. So let's say we go 19.5 inches here, so it says $15. And then here, if we go 19.5, it says $15. And if we go the 24 inch, it says $17. And if we go here, 24 inch, $17. So the price is the same on Titan and Lifting Large, but here, availability on Lifting Large ships within 1 business day. So something to look into is if you're gonna go to Titan and you see that price, and then you see that the shipping is gonna take a lot longer, come over to another site, a distributor like Lifting Large, see the price on there, see if it's the same or if it's different, and also the availability and the shipping time on there. So in this case, you're paying the same price, but you're getting a much faster shipping time. So you might wanna look into liftinglarge.com. All right, we're gonna go to a different brand now. We're gonna go over here to Stoic, which is lift.net. Then you go to shop and you can go to IPF Approved. And when you go to IPF Approved, look for the wrist wraps. So they got sleeves, they got belts, they got a singlet. You go to page 2, and here we go. We got the Stoic wrist wraps, so we can see what the prices are on those. For these, you're only gonna get the black, so you don't get any different types of colors or anything like that. You get the one option. And then here you get the pick from 18, 24, and 36. So again, these aren't super stiff from my experience or what I've seen in person and talked to people. So I don't think you need the 36. You probably want to go with 18, 24, similar to the Titan 20 or 24. So if you go with 18, you're paying $15.99. And if you're going with the 24, you're paying $19.99. So very similar price to the titaniums here. Titanium is 17 and 15, and then the Stoic is 20 and 16. So very similar prices there. Personally, I have more experience with Titan support as far as all the products and also the wrist wraps because I have the signature golds. I have the THP knee wraps. I also have signature gold knee wraps. I have more experience with Titan's equipment and wrist wraps than the Stoic. So personally, I would recommend going with Titan. And also, like I said, you can go to liftinglarge.com and get it much faster at that same price. So for basically being the same price for the same length, for the same type of wrist wrap and stuff like that, I would pick the titaniums from Titan support over these Stoic ones. But let's keep going. We'll go down here to StrengthShop. So if you go to StrengthShop and you go to support gear and you go to wrist wraps, you'll see their wrist wraps. And they do have a few colors. So similar to some of these other companies like A7, SBD, and Titan, you're gonna get different colors as well. And you'll notice they have a super stiff option and then just a stiff option. And same thing with the red, they have a super stiff, and here with the green, they have a super stiff. So they have a couple of different options here. So again, unless you're gonna be pushing some big weights or equip bench and stuff like that, you may not need the super stiff. You may just go with the regular stiff. So if you click on that one, again, you can choose the length. So 12 inches, again, may be too small, but you get a couple more options. You get 24 and 36. So you don't get that middle 20 inch or 19.5 inch that the Stoic and Titan support have, but you get this 24 option. So you don't have to go with a very small 12 inch, but you also don't have to go with that very, very long 36 inch. So you can go with the 24-inch and that's only $13.99. So now you're even going cheaper than that Stoic and the Titan. If you want to go with one of the other lengths, the 12-inch is $11.99 and the 30-inch is $15.99. So still very affordable options there. So with both the titanium from Titan Support, the Stoic, and this StrengthShop, you're very similar in prices and in length and in stiffness, but they're gonna be much cheaper than the A7 and the SBD that are almost double or even triple the price. So they're really trying to save that you can pick and choose now from these different companies. If you like Titan's stiffness, or you like their colors, or you like the StrengthShop options, or you just want to go with black and you want to go with Stoic or StrengthShop, you have a couple of different options out there to choose from as far as color. And also you're getting the IPF approved with all of them. So that's going to allow you to do any meet. So you can use them for nationals, you can use them for worlds, you can use them for North Americans, anything like that. And usually when you have the IPF approval, it's going to be in the other federations fine too. So if you're doing like USAPL or something like that, you're going to be fine with these as well. The last thing we want to do is go over to Amazon and look like what's the bottom options you can get out there on Amazon for super cheap. So if we just search wrist wraps, let's see what's out there that maybe will be cheaper than the StrengthShop options. So you can see here you have these that are $12.97, so not really cheaper. Here $16.99, not really cheaper. Iron Bull here $16.95. When you go down to the recommendations, you can see this one's supposed to be the best overall one, $12.97 for 18 inches. So again, you're not really saving money here. This one you can see is the same one as our Squats and Science one. They just put their brand on there instead. And so from this, I mean, that's gonna be pretty good quality because I've had this for a number of years and I like this style. But again, you're not saving that much, $8.99 to $13.99. The $8.99 probably is gonna be the 12-inch, which is gonna be too small. The $13.99 is pretty much gonna be probably gonna be the 18-inch, which matches some of these other ones we looked into. And we keep going. Some things to be careful of when you go to Amazon, you're getting general fitness equipment. It's not for powerlifting, it's not for USAPL. They don't know the dimensions and the requirements like that. So something like this is not gonna be allowed because this is a wrist brace and you can see how it goes with a thumb. You're not gonna be able to take this off and be able to bench because you have to take the thumb loop off. So something like this you can want to avoid because it's going to be very difficult or impossible to take the thumb loop off, and it's not a wrist wrap and you're not going to be allowed to use it. But you see there's lots of different options here from random brands, about the same price, 15 bucks. You have the Stoic here as well, $14.99. So if you want to buy off of Amazon, if you want to wear a Prime shipping or anything like that, you can buy Stoic right here off of Amazon. You also can buy the Rogue ones. These are a little bit more expensive. You can see $24. So it's going to be a step above the Titan, the Stoic, and the StrengthShop. And the other thing that you want to avoid are these CrossFit wraps that are basically cloth with a little string around it. The reason being is that when they measure the length of the wrist wrap, it includes that little string. So when we're looking at the wrist wrap length here, it includes this piece. So when a referee measures it at equipment check, it's going to include the entire length of the wrist wrap plus whatever's attached to it. So for a lot of these CrossFit ones, when you stretch out the cloth and the string, it's going to make it longer than the 1 meter maximum, and they're not going to allow you to wear them. They're flimsy cloth anyways, and they're not very good. They don't support you really at all. So I would say avoid them anyways. You're not saving money anyways. Just things to watch out for and things to avoid is watch out for those CrossFit ones and watch out for these ones that are braces and not wrist wraps. But other than that, there is nothing on Amazon really that stands out as a cheaper option. The only benefit you have, it looks like, for Amazon is if you maybe want to get the Stoic ones off of Amazon rather than directly from the site, if you have some kind of points or you want to use the Prime shipper and anything like that. So when we're looking at the options, when you want the top end option, if you do want to spend the money, you can go with the SBD 4750 or 4250, or you can go with A7, that's $35.95 and save a little bit of money. But if you really want to get your bang for your buck, get a good quality wrist wrap that's going to be similar stiffness as each other and also have the IPF Approved List, then you have options from Titan Support, Stoic, and StrengthShop. And personally for me, like I said, if I went back and I was getting wrist wraps again, I would go with the Titan Support, the titaniums, because it has a nice mix of stiffness and flexibility. It has IPF approval, it has equipment that I know what quality I'm getting because I've used their equipment before, and you can go to liftinglarge.com and get the faster shipping, and the price is really good. So you don't really have to try and save too much more then this option right here already, you're getting $17 for wrist wraps. That's a really good deal. And like I said, the Titan Support ones, the Signature Gold, I've had since 2014. So we're on year 7 now for them. So you're spending 17 bucks. Even if these only last 4 or 5 years, you're getting a really good deal, $17 for 4 or 5 years of wrist wraps. Or if you want, you can just switch them out every single year and just get a brand new one, a different color, different style, and maybe just have brand new ones every year, and you're only spending 17 bucks, which is still gonna save you over, let's say, spending the $42.50 on SBD. So like I said, you're not gonna save a ton of money in the absolute sense, but you do save money here on wrist wraps in a percentage sense, and it all adds up. So if you're saving a little bit of money on the singlets, you're saving a little bit of money on the belt, you're saving a little bit of money on wrist wraps, then that's gonna have extra money for you to use for something else. If you want, buy shoes, or you want to use it to enter nationals, something like that, you're saving money here and there that you can then put into the sport and into something else you like. All right, so hopefully that helped you figure out what is the right wrist wrap for you and how to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to wrist wrap. And like I said, if you want to check out the video where I go over the same process but for singlets, you can check out this video over here. And if you want to see me go over the same process but for belts, you can check out that video here. I also have the links for them down in the description below and the cards from above. Other than that, hope you guys are having a great week and you're gonna have a great weekend, and I'll see you in that next video.